People used to envy our family. We were the portrait of middle-class perfection. Holiday cards and matching sweaters, backyard barbecues with fairy lights, and Sunday dinners with too much red wine and forced laughter. My father, a quiet newspaper editor. My mother, a retired pianist. My brother Caleb, the star of every school play and sports team. And me, Grace. Quiet, reserved, a shadow drifting from room to room. I lived on the edge of the stage while they performed. For 22 years, I believed our life was real. That love lived in the quiet moments and the rituals we repeated every holiday. I was wrong. It began with a phone, Caleb's old one, handed to me when he upgraded. I was about to factory reset it when I noticed a strange app, a calculator that asked for a passcode. Out of idle curiosity, I typed his birthday. 1, 1. 2, 2. The app opened to a hidden vault of files, videos, dozens. I watched the first one in disbelief, nausea rising in my throat. It was taken in our guest room. The man in it was Caleb. The woman was our mother. I dropped the phone. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely breathe. I watched them all. Because denial doesn't work forever. They weren't mistakes. These were long, intentional, coordinated. The room didn't even change. It was their place, their secret sanctuary, inside our home. After the last video, I sat in the dark and stared at the wall for what must have been hours. My world wasn't just cracked. It had been rotten from the inside for years. I confronted Caleb the next morning. He was outside waxing Dad's car, humming some old pop song. When I tossed the phone to him, he didn't even blink. Guess you found it. You're disgusting. He wiped a smear of wax from the bumper. She loves me, Grace, has for years. You don't get it? I gave her what Dad never could. You're her son. He looked at me with a kind of pity. She hasn't seen me as her son for a long time. I left before I could wrap my fingers around his throat. That night, I asked Dad, softly, carefully, "Do you think Mom's ever been unfaithful to you?" He was silent for a long time. Then he said, "Everyone lies. We just lie about different things. Some truths break men." That's when I realized he knew, maybe not the full extent, but enough, and he chose silence. I moved out 2 weeks later, told them I got a job in Chicago. We had a farewell dinner. Mom wore pearls. Caleb hugged me too long. Dad gave me a watch. I smiled. And I left. In Chicago, I didn't get a job. I got to work. I hacked Caleb's cloud backups, found years of messages, voice memos, locations. I accessed old emails from my mom's account, downloaded everything, the things they said to each other. They weren't just lovers. They were conspirators. They shared fantasies of running away, of replacing our father, of starting fresh with new identities. I organized everything into a folder called Family Album. Then I sent it to my father. No note, just a zip file and the truth. 3 days later, he called. "How long have you known?" "Long enough." "Thank you." 2 days after that, Mom disappeared. Her car was found near the cliffs outside town. Driver's door open, keys still in the ignition, her purse on the seat. She left a note in Dad's study. It wasn't madness. It was love. But love has consequences. They never found her body. Some said she jumped. I think she ran. Cowards don't fall. They vanish. Caleb's world collapsed quickly. He was fired. His name hit the news. Rumors spread like wildfire. The golden boy exposed. He tried calling me once, 3:21 a.m. I didn't answer. 2 weeks later, they found him in a motel 15 minutes outside town. Overdose. No note. Just a photo beside his bed. Him and her, at the lake, both smiling. No funeral, no flowers. Just a quiet cremation. I was the only one who showed up. Not because I missed him, because I needed to see it end. Months passed. Then I returned home. The house was empty. Dad had moved out into a studio apartment. The lawn was dead. The windows, dusty. But the rooms? Still full of ghosts. I stepped into the guest room. The air smelled like lavender, like guilt. So I burned it. Room by room, I fed the fire, photo albums, sheet music, Caleb's Letterman jacket, Mom's favorite china. I stood outside as the roof fell in, and I didn't cry. I moved to Oregon, changed my name. I got a job at a women's shelter, spoke little, listened a lot. They called me brave, but they didn't know I still woke up at 3:21 a.m., hearing her laugh, seeing his face. But each morning, I got up, because Grace died in that fire. Now, I am Ash. Oregon didn't erase memory. Not really. 3 years later, I met a man, not a romantic one, a therapist named Langley. He ran a trauma group at the shelter. I didn't trust him, at first. He wore flannel, glasses. He always remembered names. I told myself I'd never speak. But he asked one question that unraveled me. What did survival cost you? And I broke, like a wave finally allowed to crash. Week after week, I talked, I cried, I remembered. Langley didn't fix me, but he witnessed me. And that's what survivors need most, not answers, but to be seen. The nightmares still come. Lavender still ruins my appetite. But one morning, I heard a child laugh outside my window, and I didn't flinch. I smiled, because healing isn't forgetting. It's letting softness return to stone. I write this now, not as a victim, not even as Ash, but as someone whole. And if you've read this far, if you've seen my fire, know this. No matter how deep the betrayal, how brutal the past, you can rise too. Because when Grace burned, Ash rose. And from ash, a woman was reborn. Life doesn't always give us clear answers. Sometimes, what we lose isn't just love. It's trust, the very foundation of what we thought was unshakable. But in that very moment of collapse, we learn how to rise, no longer fragile, but stronger, because we dared to walk away. If you've ever felt the sting of betrayal, if you've ever cried in silence, remember you are not alone. And sometimes, silence is the most powerful answer. Thank you for listening to this story. If it touched your heart, don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next story. See you in the